Their PR department is hard at work over at Fox, working their magic for the Murdochs, planting, spreading. These are hit jobs, and they are pros at hit jobbing. Make no mistake of that. The attacks are not just professional, they're fiercely personal. It's ugly. And now we know what colors Fox wears. And none of them seem to be red, white, or blue. Join me now is former governor of Alaska, Sarah Palin. Governor, good to have you on. And, you know, really tough place to be here, because I know you've gone on them on Fox in the past, and maybe you do now. But please, my audience now is realizing that Fox News started to move left. They wanted to be centered. They wanted to cast a wide net to bring in more liberal voices, to bring in more progressives, to maybe get more progressive viewers. And they got it, but at the expense of the MAGA and the true conservatives. What say you?
Right. And, you know, it's not just Fox News, of course. It's these corporate-owned, woke, disconnected elites who call the shots in mainstream media, and they look at us as just the peons, just the subjects. And perhaps people would perceive me as being biased, though, when we speak of Fox, because I got canned too. And I don't want to I don't want to interject any of my bias in the way that they operate. But I will tell you one thing about the way they operate. When I was informed that I was no longer working for them, I wasn't even informed. They didn't have the guts to call me. They called my now ex-husband. And I thought that was really weird and weak. And I just said I wouldn't speak ill of them, but I just spoke ill of them, yes. But you know what? They have underestimated the will of the people. They have underestimated our wisdom and our desire with that freedom of speech to have truth spoken to power, to have information so we can make up our own minds about these issues.
You know, you hit something very important. The freedom of speech and the freedom of expression and the diversity of views. Okay, I get that, but Fox had always represented, while I was there 11 years, while I was there, it always represented all of the gamut of conservative voices. For some reason, they thought it was a good idea to move their target from conservative, the full target being conservative voices and audience, to somehow capture more. They got greedy. They wanted more. They wanted leftists. They wanted centrists. They wanted leftists too. They wanted to be ABC, I guess. And they underestimated the actual true conservative voices. And then this whole firing of Tucker. I believe they think they'll recover from Tucker the way they recovered from Bill O'Reilly, Eric Bolling, and Megyn Kelly. Maybe not this time.
No, not this time they won't, because remember, Tucker was the anchor to that entire evening's lineup. And look at all of now the shows on nightly aired on Fox. They're all diminishing in terms of ratings. Yeah, Tucker anchored that. So no, I don't think that they're going to recover. But in your monologue, you hit the nail on the head, Eric, when you spoke about truth, the desire for truth from the audience, from the people. And when that is stymied, in my opinion, is Fox wanted to stymie exposure of a lot of issues because it made the left look bad, because it's accurate. But once the Murdoch sons came into the picture, and their wives are very liberal, I think they're proudly living out that label that they're very leftist liberal. That personal influence on the corporate culture, I think, was very strong, and it's insurmountable.
You're 100% right. The Rupert Murdoch started Fox, and you know, this massive channel. He got older, you know, and he's 92 now. And about 4 or 5 years ago, it started. The sons used to get involved a little bit more. James and Lachlan, and James wanted to do movies on the West Coast, so he and Lachlan started to take the reins. Suzanne Scott was hired when Roger Ailes got bounced. They brought Suzanne Scott in, who, by the way, was originally working as a secretary for Chet Collier, who worked with Roger Ailes. She worked her way up. They put her in the seat. And the sons, James and Lachlan Murdoch, both sons are married to very liberal wives, which tells me that there must be some of that going on in the I'm speculating, in the household as well. Both of the sons' wives had worked for or with the Clinton Foundation at some point. And you know, you scratch your head, and all of a sudden, you know, Paul Ryan gets pulled in. You got to look at all. I mean, where there's so much smoke, at some point there's fire. Governor, take a listen to Marjorie Taylor Greene, who summed up Tucker's firing thusly.
Tucker Carlson is someone that will come back around, but Fox News needs to do the right thing and work with Tucker Carlson and not keep his mouth shut with duct tape. They need to let him go and let him out of his contract so that he can do his show and go on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, and so, Governor, I'm guessing they won't do that. I'm guessing they're going to make Tucker sign an NDA, non-disparagement clause, so that he can't either work for a company against Fox News, so the CNN here and wherever. They have a real stranglehold on their anchors over there. Believe me, I know, Governor.
Yeah, I know. And they had that exclusivity when I worked for them also, where I couldn't go on other shows. But as powerful and as rich as that elitist group is that controls Fox and all the other corporate-owned networks, they are not powerful enough to take away Tucker's or any other Americans' rights under our Constitution, under our Bill of Rights. We have the freedom of speech. And yes, the lawsuits and the threats of the fiscal harm that they could do, well, hopefully Tucker is wearing it as a badge of honor because, we know what he went through and is going through now. He should be proud of where he is right now, but they can't take away his First Amendment rights. He'll still be able to speak freely. He'd better be.
He will, but where will he? So they'll play the game. Tucker will pay you X amount of dollars that we owe you, but you won't be able to work for another news network that competes with us. I mean, they're basically pushing the way they pushed Bill O'Reilly and Megyn Kelly towards the digital platform, the podcast world.
Okay, well then it's we, Joe Sixpack, the audience that is desiring facts, information, so we can make up our own minds on all the issues that are circulating around our globe today. It's up to us as we in the marketplace to open up and to allow and to demand forums, formats for a voice like Tucker's and others who've been so bold. We shouldn't sit back and wait for somebody else to do it. We need to be the ones to provide the forum, to provide the ear, and to sincerely desire and listen to what it is that they have to say. It's very valuable information that Tucker and others have been able to provide us in terms of exposure of who these people are, what they're doing to our children. It's just like all the trans stuff. It's just like that Bud Light stuff that's going on. It's against the children, and voices like Tucker's, like yours, they need to be heard.
Well, yeah, and ours, mine's still heard. Yeah, I'm here of Newsmax, and yeah, I talk about Fox, and that, frankly, Fox hates when I talk about them. They hate it, and they made me sign a non-disparagement, and I'm violating. I got it. Okay, yeah, use this in the lawsuit. Bring it, because I want to speak, and I want to speak truth to power, and their power, and I'm speaking the truth. Whatever I'm saying is not a lie. It's my opinion. It's something I've experienced. So they can go after me for that if they want to. Is Hannity at risk, you think? Do you think Hannity or one of the other ones should be worried about them pulling the rug out of the carpet underneath them the way they did Tucker?
Well, hopefully Hannity and others are looking at Tucker again as now being able to wear that badge of honor. The people, the common sense constitutionalists out here, we're proud of anyone who has taken a stand, not bent to the whims of a corporate-owned entity, especially. So hopefully they're not frightened of losing their job. Plus, oh my gosh, the big wigs over there, how much more money do they need? They have been paid a lot over these years.
That's a true story right there. They make a lot, and they made a lot on the heels of Bill O'Reilly, Megyn Kelly, Eric Bolling, Tucker Carlson.
Maybe some of those can pitch in when you get sued by Fox now for just exercising your First Amendment rights.
If they want to sue me, you can sue me, but I will not hold back when I tell them what the rest I know. Governor Palin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate you.